Hello and welcome to another episode of JJ Adventures in Traveling. Today's episode is about our recent trip to New Orleans, Louisiana. But before we get started, if you like my videos, please click that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Now on to today's episode. During our stay in New Orleans, we stayed at the Drury Plaza Hotel there on Poydras Street. It's a great hotel. It's got complimentary breakfast and complimentary evening snacks every evening. And it's within walking distance of a lot of the major attractions that you want to go see in New Orleans. I would highly recommend this hotel. And when you're in New Orleans, you have to go to Mother's Restaurant. Don't let the long lines deter you from going there. It is well worth the wait. To have their po' boys and their gumbo and their jambalaya, you definitely have to have the po' boys with debris. Trust me, it's delicious. Really cool things that we got to do while we were in New Orleans was a food walking tour. I would highly recommend doing that. We got to walk through Jackson Square. We went to Bones, which served callus, which are referred to as Creole rice fritters or rice donuts. They're dumplings composed primarily of cooked rice, yeast, sugar, eggs, and flour. The batter is deep fried, and it's a breakfast dish served with coffee or cafe au lait, and as mentioned in most Creole cuisine cookbooks, it's delicious. Walked by Cafe du Monde, but the line was incredibly long, so we didn't get a chance to have any of their beignets there. We then headed to the French market in the French Quarter, where we had boudin, sausage. It's a mixture of meat, rice, and seasonings, which are then stuffed in pork casing. It was delicious. We also had muffalettas, which is a famous Italian sandwich invented in New Orleans with cured meats, ham and salami, provolone cheese, olive dressing, and grape bread. The olive dressing sports chopped green and black olives with onions and olive oil and spices, and the bread is round sesame seed roll big enough for sharing. It was delicious. Next stop was the Market Cafe, where we had shrimp po' boys. What is a po' boy sandwich, you ask? It's piled with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and filled with roast beef, fried shrimp, oysters, or whatever you choose. Po' boys are stuffed and slathered with sauce or mayonnaise and then served between two long pieces of French bread. It was awesome. It was then off to New Orleans Creole Cookery, where we had some delicious chicken sausage gumbo. Then we headed to New Orleans School of Cooking, where we had some delicious pralines. And I know you've probably never heard of this before, but what's a visit to New Orleans without seeing the Museum of Death? Now, we couldn't take a lot of pictures inside, but I took as many as I could. But it's a very small place, but if you're into the crime scene investigation stuff, I would highly recommend the Museum of Death. We walked up and down Canal Street and did a lot of shopping. It was off to the Legendairy milkshake bar, and it had some great and creative milkshakes, and boy were they huge, but we tried a little bit of everything, and they were delicious. What's a visit to New Orleans without a stop at Mardi Gras World? Another highly recommended attraction to see while you're in town.
This one's done, and I think this one is still painting as well. So they're going to do all of the props first, and then we go back and do the flow. So that's how they all start off. And this one here is going to be at Universal Studios. So if you guys make it over there, this is going to be for their Halloween parade. So if you see it out there, that's going to be over there. It's called the Element Float. It has light beer. So we have various differentiations between our characters so we don't catch any lawsuits from Disney, Marvel Studios, Pixar, DC Comics, or Star Wars saying we didn't give you guys the right to use our character. Although the Mardi Gras crews are not for profit, if they ever did come up in the near future, we take those necessary precautions. So the buttons on his chest are arranged in a different order. The swirl on his chin is going in the opposite direction, and his name is Buzz Lightyear. There you go. So yes. Yeah. Now I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to go around the room. All that black cats and all that craziness on there, and my coat looked just like this, as well as my costume. It was very heavy to hold on my shoulders. the Hershey Symphony chocolate bars with the toffee and almonds. We bought those back and partnered with Hershey's to bring those back, those mashed sugar out here for us. Now, some crews throw out coconuts, some throw out purses, some throw out high heels, some even throw out plunges and toilet seats. So we want you guys to come on down here and
There were a lot of people in our party that wanted to have a seafood boil. So we looked up this place and found this little restaurant that had the seafood boil, and boy was it delicious. We visited the Chalmette Battlefield and National Cemetery Visitors Center in the Jean Lafitte National Historic Park. Because what's a vacation without visiting a battlefield? I'll let you in on a little secret. I bet you didn't know that in New Orleans there's a World War II museum. It's an awesome museum, very educational, and I would highly recommend it. So since we were in New Orleans, we finally had to have some beignets. But this time we went to Cafe Beignet and had some delicious beignets. Another fun tour that we found was the Creole Queen River Cruise. It was on a big paddlewheeler boat, and it went up and down the river. And it was interesting, we got to see the Carnival Valor cruise ship while we were there because it was in port in New Orleans. We had dinner at the Old Nola Cookery for some awesome, authentic New Orleans cuisine. It was delicious. Of course, what's a trip to New Orleans without hanging out on Bourbon Street and getting some of their world-famous drinks? And if you're ever in Louisiana, especially around New Orleans, you have to take a swamp tour and see alligators.
Canal Queen 4. My name is Jason. Going to be your captain and your guide today. If you have any questions during the tour, feel free to ask. It's hard for me to hear the ones in the front. If you have a question up there in the front, you may have to walk back in, ask it. You can walk around, you can stand up. I just ask that no one stands on the benches or sit on the rails. Let me tell you a little bit about the boat. The boat has been Coast Guard approved. There's life jackets located above your head for easy access. We have a restroom to my left. There's a trash can in front of me. There's soft drinks, bottled waters, chips, candy for sale. Bottled waters, chips, and candy are $2 each. The alligator jerky and the Coke and Gatorades are $3 each. And you can just help yourself with it. It depends on how much they eat. It's how fast they're going to grow. They don't quit growing. Protected areas like this, they'll live about 70 to 100 years in captivity, and then protected areas where no one's allowed to hunt them. That gator once came out of an egg, slightly bigger than chicken.
Yeah.
She'll keep doing it. The only thing I can assume, she must have a hole in her snout that makes it do this. She's the only one that does it. It's pretty obvious.
Here, Bubbles.
Thank you. You guys here?
For educational purposes, just to educate people.
I like them. Lake Placid. Yeah, go out on Lake Placid. That
I need to sit still. She usually does it more when she's sitting still. Can see, girl. Yeah, she got it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and please stay tuned to my channel for more exciting episodes. See you then. As always, if you like my videos, please think about subscribing to my channel. Click the notification icon to get notified when I post new videos. Smash that like button on this video if it really helps my channel out. And if you have any comments on my video, please enter them below.